Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Monday, the 13th day of July, and this is CTV News. Tonight, serious swatting. Phony emergency call results in a huge police presence. Disappointment and anger. A rural food bank deals with sizable losses after a B&E. And thousands gather in Antigonish to celebrate Scottish culture, the Highland Games.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. Halifax Regional Police investigating a rare case of swatting in Bedford early this morning. Officers responded en masse to a phony call about a shooting and hostage taking. Not only was the report completely false, investigators later learned the call didn't even come from Canada. CTV's Emma Convey has details.
There was a heavy police presence at an apartment complex in Bedford early Monday morning. But not for criminal activity that happened here. It was all a hoax.
Received a call from a man stating he lives at a complex on River Lane in Bedford. The caller stated that he had shot his father and was holding his mother hostage at gunpoint.
Upon arrival, police evacuated the complex and got a hold of the individual they believed to be the caller, as well as their parents. It was confirmed all were safe and determined the call was fake.
We don't believe that it's a random incident. We believe that the person who we believed was the caller, we believe he was targeted due to an online dispute.
Police say the investigation is still ongoing, but this call came from the United States. Incidents like this are called swatting. It's when someone makes a false report that prompts a significant police response.
We've definitely seen a rise in these incidents. You know, they are fairly common. You just don't hear the headlines about it. And thankfully, the loss of life has been low, but not zero.
Security expert David Shipley says there's normally motivation behind these attacks.
It's usually financial, maybe it's revenge, could be a form of extended intimate partner violence in some cases, but there's usually an underlying issue driving someone to escalate to this point.
He explains that technology and artificial intelligence makes these calls more believable, so the modernization of our telecommunication systems like 911 are needed.
We simply cannot take for granted that a number that appears is actually coming from HRM, for example. And yeah, that's the reality is everything that we can do to try and mitigate this risk comes with some cost. It comes at cost for taxpayers for more advanced IT systems and other things. And it comes at some sacrifices around individual privacy.
Every call to police is taken seriously until proven it's not dangerous. Fake calls tie up police resources. Emma Convey, CTV News, Bedford.
2 young people have died, another left with serious injuries following a collision in Lunenburg County. Single vehicle crash happened just after dawn Saturday on Highway 324 in Lilydale. Investigators say an SUV veered off the road and hit a tree. The driver and a passenger died at the scene. A third occupant of the vehicle was airlifted to Halifax. Police say the investigation is ongoing. A 29-year-old man is dead following a crash between a motorcycle and a tractor trailer in Cavendish late this afternoon. Police dispatched to the call on Route 6 near the Raspberry Point Oyster Bar around 3:45 p.m. The investigation is ongoing, but police say it does not appear alcohol or drugs were a factor in the mishap. Significant damage to a home after a fire in Dartmouth today. Crews called to this house on Braemar Drive this afternoon. They made fairly quick work of the flames, but as you can see, there was extensive damage to the structure, especially evident on one side. One person was home at the time, but didn't immediately notice the fire. Neighbors alerted her to the danger. For people living in this 16-unit apartment building on Main Street in Middleton today when fire broke out there just before 4 p.m. It was contained to one unit in an upper floor. Fire Chief Mike Toole tells CTV News residents remain evacuated tonight, but the Red Cross is assisting with accommodations. Crews from a number of surrounding departments assisted with the firefight. Toole says the cause is considered accidental. 32-year-old Kentville man facing arson charges tonight in connection with a structure fire in the town last week. The fire spread quickly from one building to another. After investigating, police say Andrew Balzer was arrested and charged with 2 counts of arson causing damage to property. He was due to face a judge in Kentville today.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Police in New Brunswick searching for a number of valuable artifacts stolen from an elderly veteran's home in broad daylight last week. Among the items stolen, various war medals and nearly $50,000 in cash. CTV's Avery McRae has more.
It was sometime after lunch when 2 males and 1 female entered his Nasonworth home through the unlocked front door. While Alan Kennedy did not want to appear on camera, he recalls being restrained to a chair with his hands tied behind with zip ties as the trio looted the home for 15 minutes before leaving. He later managed to free himself and went next door to call for help as the suspects ripped out all of his phone cords. Among the stolen items were various war medals and memorabilia, a Gukrekirka war knife from overseas gifted to him by a friend while serving, and around $45,000 in cash. He says the thieves also planned to steal a near-complete collection of Royal Canadian Mint coins, but left the bag behind, which is now in the hands of the RCMP as part of the investigation. While police were not available to speak on camera, they tell CTV the investigation is ongoing. All 3 suspects are described as tall, thin people who spoke English, who covered their faces during the robbery. Police remind the public of several measures that can be taken to avoid a break-in, like locking windows and doors even when at home, installing cameras or security alarms, keeping valuable items away from windows that can be seen from outside, and to look out for your neighbors. When I asked Alan Kennedy how he was doing in the days since the robbery, he admits his mental health hasn't been the best. He says he has had troubles falling asleep as his mind races about what has become of his prize collection, which has enormous sentimental value. Avery McRae, CTV News, Oromocto, New Brunswick.
Bit of a surprise in a by-election in Prince Edward Island today. After counting the ballots, Elections PEI says the unofficial winner in District 16, Cornwall Meadowbank, is Green Party candidate Tate Willows. The agency says Willows received nearly 1,200 votes, representing 24.10% of the 2,990 ballots cast. Overall voter turnout, almost 61%. Notably, Willows defeated Island Liberal leader Robert Mitchell in that by-election. Nova Scotia's 25th premier has died. John Hamm served in that role from 1999 to 2006. A physician by training, Dr. Hamm was first elected as an MLA in Pictou back in 1993. Later, as PC leader, he took the party from 3rd place to a majority government. Hamm retired from politics 20 years ago. Paying tribute today, Premier Tim Houston said, "I will remember Premier Hamm for his strength, his quiet dignity, and for his determination to improve the lives of the people he served." Nova Scotia flags have been lowered at Province House and at all provincial buildings in honor of the late Premier. Disappointment and anger in a rural New Brunswick community after the local food bank was ripped off in a break-in. CTV's Derek Haggett has those details.
It's been a little over a week since the food bank in Port Elgin was robbed, but people here are still upset about it.
We would much rather people ask us than take.
The food bank's executive director says someone broke in on the night of July 3rd. Meat, fresh produce, snacks, soap, toilet paper, and even dog food were stolen in large quantities.
I think they're at their wits' end with maybe their lifestyle, maybe their jobs, maybe 100 reasons, I don't know.
In a statement to CTV News, the mayor of Strait Shores says the break-in is deeply disappointing and upsetting. It is difficult to understand why anyone would target an organization whose sole purpose is to support individuals and families in need. We hope those responsible are identified and held accountable for their actions through the appropriate legal process. The RCMP is investigating, but there have been no arrests as of yet. The food bank serves around 130 homes in the area.
They keep everything confidential. Everybody could use it. No questions asked. So to break in and do a little bit of damage to the locks and take what you need wasn't required.
We never turn anybody away.
Support from other food banks and residents in the area and across Canada have helped restock the shelves, as well as continuing support from Feed MB. Mayor Boyd also says the municipality will be reaching out to the RCMP to reestablish discussions about public safety and police presence here in the community. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Port Elgin, New Brunswick.
Okay, thank you, Derek. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast. And we'll tell you about a well-loved maritime mural that is getting a makeover just in time for tourist season. Coming up next, though, tap and pay. Where is it?
I did live in Toronto for a long time, and we've had tap there for as long as I can remember.
It is standard in most big cities, so why can't transit users in Halifax use it yet? We'll look for answers when we come back.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Hey, you can win $1,000 in under 60 seconds every weekday at 7.
That's when we play $1,000 Minute. Your chance to win $1,000 with us.
Okay, so as you know, we're down to the semifinals now at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. CTV, TSN, Crave, your home for coverage. And of course, that has been impacting our programming on occasion and will impact our supper hour shows this week. So tomorrow and Wednesday, CTV News at 5 and 6 move to CTV 2. You can scan the QR code on screen or go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to see all the details. By the way, it will be England versus Argentina starting tomorrow, 4 o'clock our time. So it was supposed to be in place last fall, but transit users in Halifax still cannot tap and go to ride buses and ferries. It's not exactly leading-edge technology, so what is the holdup? CTV's Callum Smith looked into it.
Sometimes coins may get stuck or people don't have the exact change. Those issues could arise when paying Halifax transit fares. But there's also an app or ticket books that can be purchased. Still, Mayor Andy Fillmore says tap to pay is a very important addition to the mix, so riders have the right to be frustrated that the rollout is delayed.
It is well behind the times. This is not new technology. This is proven technology that's been around for at least a decade. I'm as frustrated as anybody.
During budget deliberations, councillors opted to increase transit fares from $3 to $3.25 starting late September, so they decided to roll out tap to pay at the same time. But a new report to council tomorrow says that's not possible now, and late December is the new target. Staff say the delay is recommended to allow sufficient time for development and integration work to ensure the system meets required performance, reliability, security, and user experience standards. Visitors who spoke to CTV were caught off guard to learn exact change or an app are needed.
I'm kind of surprised. I did live in Toronto for a long time, and we've had tap there for as long as I can remember.
I'm from Vancouver. I mean, for us, we actually use the credit cards and interact or non-payment for taps, and it's very convenient, especially for visitors who don't have time or don't know where to go to grab any change or to get a cards or anything like that.
I'm visiting, and I actually downloaded the app because trying to find $5 to get out to the airport, that's always a bit of a challenge. Yeah, but the app was simple.
Fillmore says he'll ask councillors to support an alternative motion to delay the fare increase until TAP is ready, which would cost about $290,000 of revenue. The deputy mayor says it's important to get TAP right, especially with heightened cybersecurity concerns.
My focus is really going to be on making sure that what the system offers is secure, is reliable, and does have a good user experience.
Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Callum. Time for a quick little break here, but when we return, it's your complete maritime weather forecast. A very pleasant evening after a very nice warm summer day around here. Kaylin's forecast coming up next. Stay with us. Okay, Monday night, 13th day of July, kind of hot and warm and humid around here today. Not nearly what they're seeing out west, but still pretty darn warm.
And like out west, that heat and humidity for us here in the Maritimes could break with some thunderstorms coming up for tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about that. The risk of the thunderstorms is going to come with the approach of a weather front, this cold front that's currently hanging back through parts of Ontario, but will be making its way towards the St. Lawrence River Valley. It's actually going to be located within a larger trough of low pressure that moves into the province of New Brunswick for tomorrow. And that could act as a trigger, what's needed to start the lift of this sort of hot and humid air we have around the Maritimes higher up to develop into those thunderstorms. So taking a look at our timeline, first of all, for cloud cover and precipitation for the remainder of tonight, there is an area of some showers making its way out of New Brunswick and across Prince Edward Island and parts of Cape Breton into the early morning hours of Tuesday. Other parts of the Maritimes first thing tomorrow morning, partly cloudy with fog patches that'll dissipate as we make our way into the afternoon. Now moving into Tuesday afternoon, this is when the risk of some severe thunderstorms begins in the province of New Brunswick. Now any thunderstorms that do develop on Tuesday are going to be widely scattered in their coverage, so they're going to be very hit and miss around the region. It's nearly impossible on a computer forecast model like we're looking at in behind me to pinpoint what exact areas or communities could be at risk of those thunderstorms. We know there's a blanket risk for tomorrow, but it will take until the day of until we can see them developing on satellite and radar. So make sure you have a way to monitor any severe thunderstorm watches or warnings that are issued, because the situation with those can change quickly. But the risk will be highest in the province of New Brunswick afternoon into evening, with a lower risk for Prince Edward Island and a few parts of the north and west of Nova Scotia. Taking a look at winds in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow, they remain mostly out of the southwest. It's keeping that humid air in place. Tomorrow's wind gusts in the afternoon mostly between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. It's also a bit of a warm and stuffy night across the Maritimes. The most low temperature is not much cooler than around 15 to 19 degrees. And then for tomorrow, that risk of severe thunderstorms in New Brunswick, high temperatures of around 27 to 30 in the north of that province. Central and southern parts of the province with high temperatures, high 20s, low 30s, but feeling into the mid to high 30s with the amount of humidity in the air. And again, a risk of some severe thunderstorms, especially late in the day. For Prince Edward Island, it's a lower risk, but a risk nonetheless that there could be some thunderstorms Tuesday evening and night. High temperatures tomorrow for PEI, mostly 25 to 27, though 22 on parts of the coast. And for Nova Scotia, high temperatures in Cape Breton for tomorrow would be mostly in the low to mid 20s. And same thing goes for eastern parts of the mainland with a mix of sun and cloud. Northern and central areas of Nova Scotia with high temperatures between around 23 and 27. Temperatures a little bit more moderate on the Atlantic coastline because that southwest wind's a little bit more onshore there. Hot and humid in the Annapolis Valley tomorrow. Interior areas of southwest Nova Scotia. Highs for around 29. Humidex values, though, making you feel close to the mid-30s. And then directly on the Atlantic coastline, that's where you can find some temperatures around 22 to 25 degrees. So just to recap, our risk for severe thunderstorms is highest in the province of New Brunswick for tomorrow. A lower risk Tuesday evening and night for Prince Edward Island, parts of Nova Scotia. But on Wednesday, that front is still coming across the Maritimes, and that will shift the risk of thunderstorms further to the east with it, mostly for Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia on Wednesday. So taking a look at the 7-day forecast for New Brunswick, isolated showers on Wednesday, temperature and humidity levels coming down through the end of this week, heat and humidity breaking. Looking pretty nice for the start of next weekend. On Saturday, sunny, chance of showers on Sunday, and after that, some sunshine in the forecast for Monday of next week. For Nova Scotia, in the forecast tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, hot, humid day away from coastal areas. Then on Wednesday, showers with risk of thunderstorms. It's a lower chance of showers on Thursday. Temperature and humidity coming down through the end of the week. Coming up after that for the weekend, it's a mix of sun and cloud Saturday, chance of showers Sunday, and Monday, a mix of sun and cloud. And here we are for Prince Edward Island. So we've got a chance of a shower, risk of a thunderstorm the next couple of days as that front goes through. Temperature and humidity coming down through the end of the week. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud, chance of showers on Sunday, and next Monday, a mix of sun and cloud. Bruce.
All right, thank you, my friend. Wake up weather still to come. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Mural in one of our most picturesque communities is getting a makeover. CTV's Nick Moore has more.
It is a high-traffic area in downtown St. Andrews, New Brunswick, leading to the town wharf, a scene that is featured in a mural first painted here in 2007 by Jeff Slater.
You can still see the town. This historic town hasn't changed a lot. We did some research at the archives and came up with a view of St. Andrews 100 years ago. So it's a little further along now.
Slater is back this summer to refresh his masterpiece.
This is a complete restoration. So a lot of the mural was painted over, reprimed. The wood where it had to come out and be repaired was taken down. I'm sure I placed the sails a little differently.
The new mural will stay true to the original for the most part.
No big changes, just a couple little Easter eggs, I think. There's going to be a little dog put on one of the vessels here that's in honor of a friend of mine's pet. He's going to be a little sailor dog on this. Moose is going to make an appearance.
Slater began work on the restoration last month.
I have a real respect for his trade.
And it immediately caught the attention of visitors and locals downtown.
It's been really exciting to watch the process. So walking by here every day and seeing what he's done week to week.
I think it's amazing to watch an artist sort of conceive of something that big and then be able to realize it at that level of detail.
Slater says he should be finished painting here in a week, depending on the weather. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. Andrews.
Thank you, Nick. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, we're off to Antigonish to celebrate Scottish culture at the Highland Games. First, though, your wake-up weather. Here's a look at the Armdale Roundabout on this Monday night. 19 degrees right now. Kaylin Mitchell's Wake Up is coming up next. It is now technically Tuesday morning, and the best way to kick off a Tuesday morning is always the wake-up weather.
That's right. So Tuesday morning, chance of showers, Prince Edward Island and for Cape Breton. Otherwise partly cloudy with fog patches. Moving into the afternoon, the fog dissipates. It's hot and humid away from the coast in the Maritimes tomorrow. There will be a risk of thunderstorms in the province of New Brunswick Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. The potential for any thunderstorms to become severe. So a little bit of weather awareness needed on Tuesday. Bruce.
All right, thank you, Kellen. Thousands of people gathering in Antigonish, Nova Scotia for the 161st Highland Games over the weekend. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more in the event that really celebrates the best of Scottish culture.
It's been running since 1861, and we are the longest continuously running Highland Games in Canada.
Thousands were in attendance for Saturday's festivities. The week-long event celebrates everything there is to love about Scottish culture.
Well, historically, the Scots were kind of driven from their homeland. The Highlanders were driven from their homeland, and a lot of them settled in our shores in the early 1800s. And so it was really important to them to preserve this culture. So that's a tradition that we try to uphold today.
From Highland Dance to the Clan March, crowds took in the sights and sounds. Many enjoyed this round of heavy events.
Over that shoulder. So it's a medley of different implements, all meant to be thrown, from stones, weights, hammers, which is occurring right now, caber toss, and weight over bar.
Committee member and past president of the Antigonish Highland Society says the pipe bands are always a crowd favorite.
It's a music of the culture, and I think that, you know, when people hear a bagpipe and or a pipe band, it brings back various memories. And of course, it was a memory that's associated with happy times, but also associated with funerals and stuff such as that, where there's laments played when a person is being laid to rest. So it's very meaningful.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Vanessa. That is your late news for tonight. If you joined us late or you'd like another look at any of our stories, ctvnewsatlantic.ca is always your home for news. I'm Bruce Briscoe. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. I do hope to see you again tomorrow.